Hello everyone, welcome to Fashion Calgary. My name is Anya Vasek and I am here today with Corinne Lyall, who is the owner of one of the real estate companies in Calgary, as well as president of Calgary Real Estate Board. How are you, Corinne?
I'm great, thanks for asking.
I love your bright pink. It's perfect for coming fall. But before we go to the fashion kind of topic, let's talk a little bit more about stuff you do. Tell me a little bit more about how does it feel to be an owner of real estate company, especially in a quite interesting market these days, as well as becoming a president of the Calgary Real Estate Board. That's congratulations on that, and tell me a little bit more about that.
Oh, sure. Well, to your first question, what's it like to be the owner of a real estate company in today's market? It's been definitely what you'd say is interesting. The one thing you have to remember is that Calgary is a very volatile market in general. I mean, whenever you have an energy-based economy, you're going to run into some volatility, and that's just the way it goes. And we've lived through this before, and so we'll find that the market will it's cyclical and it'll come back again. I mean, and really what we're talking about is something that's occurred from year over year. The last 2 years we've come out of a really fabulous tight market, maybe not fabulous for everybody because they didn't have the opportunity to get into the market. Now the market that we're in is potentially a little bit slower, but it allows people to potentially get into the market when they weren't able to before. So yeah, it's interesting times, but good business can be done in any market. So
especially if you're a professional, you know how to do it, you can do it. And but what about the Calgary Real Estate Board?
Well, so as you mentioned, so this year I am president and I was inaugurated in January, and I've been on the real estate board for about 5.5 years. And I've always been involved in organizational real estate. I think it's really important to get involved not only in helping people buy and sell property, but have a little bit of an understanding about how the real estate, all the different levels of real estate work and how they're integrated and how it connects with our community and our membership. So all those things are interesting to me. So I like to get involved where potentially I can help turn that dial a little bit and have some influence around what's happening in our market. And by that I would just mean in terms of for instance, this year I have a theme that's called Building Better Relationships. And building better relationships can really be about building better relationships with other real estate professionals, but it also is with the people that you're working with too, so your clients. So how can we do that? How can we raise the bar a little bit?
And I have to be honest, that sounds very interesting, because for me, as someone who is observing that from the side, I always think like those real estate agents, they just fight between each other. Who will get the client and who will sell a better deal. But I guess it's just what you think, and the reality is a little bit different. But I think there has to be some rules for sure. But what would be the most challenging part for you as a real estate agent, in the process of selling a house?
What's the most challenging thing? I would suggest helping people with just finding the property so on the buying end, it's always the hunt for the right property. That's always the challenge, but it's also the most exciting thing. And you've probably heard the expression that when you walk into a home and you know which one it is, you feel it. And it's that exciting moment when that all comes together. As far as people, selling somebody's house, obviously the biggest challenge is selling it, right? And finding that perfect buyer to walk in and love your home. That's always the challenge. And as a seller, I think that you always have those concerns of, will my home sell? Will somebody like it? And so it's always that exciting moment when a buyer walks in, feels that this is the house for them, and the seller is able to sell their home because of that. So,
well, you're Calgarian, you call yourself Calgarian. Well, you've been living almost all your life here. But what do you think about the cultural scene over the years? How do you think it's changed?
Oh, I think it's evolved. My parents moved us here in the 1970s when that exodus of people moving from out east to out west, specifically from Quebec, and we moved to Calgary for job possibilities, obviously. And I know my mom was a little bit shocked at a little bit of the the cultural void that kind of existed relative to living in Montreal, obviously, at that time. But, you also have to take it in consideration that the city was less than 400,000 people, and now we've tripled that, right? It's a much bigger city, and so there's the opportunity to be able to see culture evolve and see an art scene and theater scene and everything else. And so it's neat that that has come here. And actually, if you don't mind me giving a plug for a very cool cultural event coming up, is this next weekend. I also happen to be on another board called Doors Open YYC. Okay. And that's coming up this weekend. And we have 44 sites this year. And what it is for Calgarians to experience behind the scenes of buildings and businesses that they wouldn't otherwise get the opportunity to. Wow. So we've got a number of things on there, and you should check it out.
Yeah, well, thank you for promoting. And we are always so excited to hear about new things coming up in our city. But I want to also thank you for saying yes to become one of the ambassadors this year for the Fashion Calgary Portrait campaign. It's always a pleasure to meet new, interesting individuals like yourself. What do you think about the campaign itself?
Oh, I'm just really excited about it. I feel honored to have been asked, and I think anything, I said to somebody earlier today when they asked me about being an ambassador, what does that mean to me? I didn't think about it in terms of being, the face of Fashion Calgary. It was more along the lines of how can I help promote something that I believe in, and that's actually creating more culture and fashion in our city. So anything that I can get involved in that elevates that level of, of culture to Calgary, I love being a part of this. This is exciting.
Well, thank you again so much, and we look forward to see you at the gala in November.
Sounds great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.